Right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Get the rain gear ready. We have 2 waves of showers and some thunder on the way.
Tonight, the truth about political ads. They include lies. We verify what federal rules the ads have to follow. But first tonight, another child becomes the victim of gun violence.
That gun should have been locked up.
That gun taking the life of a 2-year-old. Police say the toddler shot himself while in a car. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. This happened this afternoon on the parking lot of an AutoZone store near South Kings Highway and Thalozin. Our Robert Townsend is live tonight outside that store. Robert.
Mike, tonight there's now a memorial here at this site in this South St. Louis neighborhood. Look over here, you can see balloons, teddy bears, and stuffed animals are now tied to this light pole for the little boy who lost his life.
It's very heartbreaking.
After hearing the tragic news that another child got his hands on a gun, shot himself, and later died, Sharon Webb and her colleague with Mothers Advocating Safe Streets went to the Northampton neighborhood in South St. Louis.
It's devastating.
In a matter of minutes, the 2 moms tied teddy bears, flowers, and balloons to a light pole outside an AutoZone. It's here, police say, shortly before noon Monday, a 2-year-old shot himself in the head in a car on the business parking lot. Police say someone privately drove the child to the hospital. Sadly, about 5 hours later, the toddler died.
Kids are our greatest asset. How did that child get that gun?
Right now, police have not answered that question. They also haven't said who was with the child at the time of the shooting. We do know so far this year, 103 kids just 17 years old or younger have been shot in St. Louis. The 2-year-old is the 13th to die.
Yes, it's very sad, when you hear something like that, and their parents are supposed to be careful with this gun.
I can't even comprehend how this is occurring. Gun locks are free.
And available at police and fire departments and even libraries. The latest deadly shooting of a child happened in Alderman Joe Vollmer's 10th Ward.
If you really don't need a gun, get rid of it. Turn it in. If you don't know how to use it, get training. But lock your guns, protect your children.
The police department's child abuse division is now investigating this shooting. Of course, we will stay on top of this. Live tonight in South City, Robert Townsend, 5 Your Side.
A live look now, the Gateway Arch. Our dry days are numbered. Rain is moving in overnight. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott, and he joins us now with what you can expect in the morning. Jim?
Yeah, have the umbrellas ready and the rain gear for the next couple of days. We haven't said that in a while. Now, right now, that full moon, it's really 99% illuminated. It's a beautiful evening, still in the 70s around St. Louis, but 17 days with no measurable rainfall. And the last time we had measurable rainfall at Lambert on the 23rd of September. So the next 12 hours, you can see the precip chances go up to 70% by 5 a.m. So we are expecting showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder in here through the morning and into the early afternoon. So best chances of thunder and some rain will be Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's the morning and the early afternoon. I think most of the evening Tuesday and also Wednesday will be nice and dry. But coming up, I'll time it all out for you in just a few minutes and show you where all that moisture is coming from and where it's headed.
Tonight, St. Louis police are investigating a deadly crash involving several cars in North City. It happened around 6:30 tonight at the intersection of North Kings Highway and St. Louis Avenue. We're told the crash involved 5 cars. Police tell us several people were thrown from the vehicles. 1 person has died. No word on the extent of the other injuries or what led up to this crash.
We have breaking news into our newsroom just moments ago. Overland police investigating a deadly crash involving a pedestrian. This happened near the intersection of Woodson Road and Midland Avenue. We do have a crew on the way to the scene, and we'll have more for you on Today in St. Louis and overnight on the 5 on Your Side app. Tonight, we're still waiting to learn the name of a woman killed in a hit and run in Tower Grove South. It happened just before 7 last night at the corner of Gravois and Spring. Police say the woman was hit by a red car traveling down Gravois. The driver did not stop. It's not clear if the victim was hit while standing in a parking lane or a lane of traffic.
Election day is 4 weeks from tomorrow, and with control over Congress at stake, candidates are focusing on issues like the economy and crime.
Abortion rights is another key issue. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski was there tonight as Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush brought her reproductive freedom tour to downtown. Laura.
Mike and Ann, I talked with Congresswoman Bush on one of the last stops of the Reproductive Freedom Tour. She's fighting for pro-choice initiatives. Her opponent, Andrew Jones, is pro-life, but both sides of the issue agree on one thing: every vote counts. As Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush fights to keep her seat in the U.S. House, she joined together with abortion advocates to rally voters.
Abortion care is health care, because one thing that I said to people was, you don't go for that type of a procedure at the gas station. You go to a medical clinic because it's a medical procedure. It is a procedure, and it's a procedure that saves lives.
Her opponent, Andrew Jones, says he's pro-life, and in a statement on his website, quote, "Every life is important, and I intend to support legislation in Congress that will encourage life and adoption while supporting vulnerable women and families." Pro-life advocates at Coalition Life say they believe the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade was a big step in the right direction.
What happened in Missouri could easily be overturned with a referendum vote or changing the Constitution, and I know a lot of pro-lifers are looking specifically at how to protect the laws that have been passed over the course of the last 40, 50 years in Missouri to protect human life.
Coalition Life Executive Director Brian Westbrook says that's why they're not done fighting for pro-life legislation and candidates that support it.
We know that if pro-life candidates are elected, that we know that more children will be saved and more lives will be saved through the process.
Congresswoman Bush says she hopes through rallying voters, people will show up to the polls in a big way.
It's not a Republican or Democrat or libertarian group. That is not the issue. This is about human beings, and there are Republicans who have abortions. So this affects any and all people. So any and all people should have a voice in this.
Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight, the race for St. Louis County Executive is apparently tightening. A new poll from Missouri Scout and Remington Research Group shows incumbent Sam Page leading his Republican challenger Mark Mantovani by just 5 percentage points. That's a much smaller lead than the 58% of the vote the Democrat received in the 2020 general election. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, 39% of respondents say the county is on the wrong track.
Time is running out if you're planning to vote in the November election and are not registered. Illinois voters must register in person or by mail by tomorrow. Missourians have until this Wednesday to register online, by mail, or in person. For more information, go to the As Seen on TV section at KSTK.com. It's hard to avoid all those campaign ads as Election Day draws closer. Candidates make a lot of claims in those commercials. Do they have to be factual? Brandon Lewis from our Verify team finds out.
Midterm election season is here, and that means there will be political ads everywhere you look. And some of those ads will inevitably make outlandish claims.
Some Verify viewers emailed us to ask if candidate ads have to tell the truth. So let's verify. Are political ads required to be factual in order to be aired on broadcast television? Our sources are the Federal Communications Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, and University of Minnesota political science professor David Schultz. The rules for political ads are very different than typical consumer products, and we want to be clear up front that the answer to this question is no. Political ads are not required to be factual in order to be aired on broadcast television. In fact, the law allows politicians to say almost whatever they want in a commercial. This is because political ads are regulated by the FCC, which applies just 2 rules. One is that all candidates have the same opportunity to buy commercial time on stations, and 2 is that politicians can say whatever they want. Accuracy is not one of the rules, although TV stations could run a disclaimer explaining the rules before airing an ad. The only consequence for politicians who produce misleading or false ads is in court, and that's only if they defame someone, which is rare and hard to prove.
I think the rationale behind it is what? The idea of saying that candidates get to say what they want, and the voters get to sort of, through the marketplace of ideas, decide what's true, what's false.
That marketplace could also include news stories or fact checks like Verify stories explaining what's true and false. Schultz says you should always read the fine print on an ad to see who is funding it and do your own research on a candidate to see if what's being claimed is really true. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
What can we verify for you? Send an email, verify@ksdk.com. It is a sad day here at 5 on your side.
Yeah, Bob Garger, a longtime member of the KSDK family, has died.
There's a lot of history, St. Louis history here, right here. It's priceless, isn't it?
We've been telling you that it's KSDK's 75th anniversary, and Bob was here for most of those 75 years. He started at KSD-TV back in 1954 as a writer and producer. He retired from his full-time duties in 1993, but he stayed on as a part-time archivist until 2016. Bob saved much of our early history. Bob and his partner, Ray Hofstetter, preserved and archived an estimated 4,000 cans of news film, thousands of videotapes, and hundreds of scripts from the past 75 years. Not just that, he was an excellent tennis player and just a nice guy. Bob Garger was 94 years old.
House fires. They're less frequent these days, but more deadly.
It just went so fast. It just boggles my mind how fast it goes.
How home design is putting you in danger. The 4 steps to increase your odds of survival. Gas price roller coaster. Right now, they're up. Tonight, the encouraging signs you'll be paying less next week.
You'll need an umbrella as early as tomorrow morning. I'll time out the 2 rounds of rain headed our way.
Today is Columbus Day. In Chicago, the city held its 70th Columbus Day parade. The federal holiday has been the center of controversy in recent years because of the treatment of Native Americans since Christopher Columbus's arrival in 1492. Some states and cities now celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. At the University of Wisconsin, the Ho-Chunk Nation flag was raised. Wisconsin was the first state to observe that holiday in 2019.
A group of Native American leaders protested outside Arrowhead Stadium ahead of tonight's Kansas City Chiefs game, demanding the team to change its name. The Chiefs tweeted out a statement today saying it continues to have important dialogue with local and national groups to identify ways to educate ourselves and our fans by raising awareness of American Indian communities and their rich traditions. In recent years, the Chiefs retired its horse mascot, War Paint. The team has also banned Native American headdresses and face paintings at games.
It is Fire Prevention Week. The number of house fires have dropped by half since 1980, thanks to smoke alarms and better building codes.
But the number of fire deaths have been on the rise since 2010. And tonight, Consumer Reports explains why and gives steps on how to protect yourself and your family.
Simon Glinsick had to evacuate his entire family from his home after a dryer caught fire.
Smoke was like white smoke billowing out of the dry area. So the smoke had just fallen so fast. I noticed that it doesn't really hover at the top. It kind of goes all over the place. But it just went so fast. It just boggles my mind how fast it goes.
House fires today burn faster, hotter, and are deadlier than ever. But why? One main reason, time.
40 years ago, you would have had 17 minutes to get out of a house on fire. Today, just 3.
So what's changed? In part, those popular open-plan houses. With fewer walls and doors, fires travel faster and more freely. Another culprit? Today's furniture.
A lot of homes today have furnishings made with synthetic materials like plastic and particle board, which burn much quicker than, say, solid wood.
Some classic advice still holds true today. Have at least one smoke detector and one Class ABC fire extinguisher per floor of your home and check them monthly. CR recommends these dual sensor alarms from First Alert and Kidde. Both got perfect scores for detecting both flaming and smoldering fires. If you need to use your extinguisher, use the pass method. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle toward the base of the fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep from side to side. Other helpful tips? Don't leave lithium-ion batteries like the ones for your power tools charging overnight. And be sure to only use the charger that came with it. If you have an outlet that doesn't grip the plug, it's time to change it. Replace your worn-out outlets with arc fault circuit interrupter, also known as AFCI outlets. And have an escape plan in place and rehearse it with everyone in your household.
We always talked about go by the tree. Anything like that, you always sit by the tree. We'll meet up right here. that does work.
And Consumer Reports also recommends keeping your bedroom door closed at night. This can help keep fires from spreading.
Prepare yourself for a gas price roller coaster. You're thinking, I'm already on that, right? Several states, including Illinois, are already seeing prices at the pump above $4 a gallon again. The average price in St. Louis and nationwide up around 10 cents in the last week. The rise comes after OPEC's decision last week to cut production. Now here's the silver lining. West Coast refineries are coming back online after accidents or maintenance. Now western states are seeing those gas prices fall. Experts say the price drop will spread across the country by next week. Spire is seeking to raise your monthly gas bill, and this week you can let state regulators know how you feel about the rate hike. If approved, the average customer will see their bill go up about $10 a month. The Missouri Public Service Commission is holding an in-person public hearing Wednesday at St. Louis Community College in Florissant Valley. It will start at 6 p.m. in the Student Center. A virtual hearing will be held at noon on Thursday.
The corn harvest is here, and Missouri farmers are seeing the impact of drought conditions. 63% of the state remains under a drought. Farmers are also dealing with inflation, and those prices are being passed on to the consumer.
Corn prices will probably stay high if there's not a high yield nationally.
It's been a little dry this year, so the crops aren't as plentiful. This year we've had to raise the price a little bit, but we've got lots of people that want sweet corn.
Although not ideal for growing crops, farmers say the drought conditions are ideal for harvesting.
We do have rain, imminent rain, right? Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight.
Yeah, so we're watching the radar, and it's been so dry for 17 days in a row now. And the moon is out. It's beautiful, still full, about 99% full, and 73 degrees. It's a warm night. 83 for that high today, very dry, very sunny, 55 for that overnight low. And the rainfall totals, well, here's the ensemble member here. It's several added together. And so it looks like on average about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch over the next couple of days. So best rain chances and possible isolated thunderstorms are Tuesday morning and also Wednesday morning, possibly into the afternoon. Looks like the evenings will be dry. So this is what's going on. The trough of low pressure developing right here in the Plain States is sending moisture from Texas and Oklahoma into our area. That's round one. And we're watching the low-level jet developing tonight, and that could enhance our rainfall. Here's a really big swath of rain, embedded thunderstorms around Oklahoma City. That'll ride up 44 and into our area by morning. So in the morning hours, expect some showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder. And then as we head into Wednesday, here comes a front right out of Canada, and that will slam into that really warm and more moist air. So we're watching that for Wednesday. So here's tomorrow morning. And again, temperatures should make it into the 70s in the afternoon. Showers, some rumbles of thunder, not expecting any severe weather. And then it looks like that wind picks up south at about 20 miles an hour. Then when the front comes through, isolated severe cells can't be ruled out. Maybe some high wind gust, maybe a little bit of hail. Again, very isolated, not expecting a widespread severe weather event. So Tuesday morning, 4:30 in the morning, you see some showers popping up, maybe a thunder shower, and then it stays with us through the morning, early afternoon, probably a break tomorrow evening. And then as we head into later on really Tuesday night into early Wednesday, more showers, maybe isolated thunderstorms popping up. Here's 11:30 in the morning on Wednesday. And then even in the afternoon, still some activity popping up. But by Wednesday evening, it really dries out. And again, that marginal risk of severe weather means isolated cells. It could be strong on Wednesday. All right, 10-day forecast, 72 in the next couple of days with some rain from time to time. And then we're dry Thursday, Friday, 60s. And then look at how cold it gets, though, guys. Early next week in the 50s for overnight, or for high temperatures.
Yeah,
chilly.
Fall will finally be here. All right, Jim, thanks. Frank is next with sports.
So, Mike, how many miles did Albert Pujols log when he ran around the bases in his career? We will have that answer next, and a look back at the next most surprising Cardinal from 2022. Stick around, please. So besides the Albert Pujols second half explosion, The second most surprising player this season had to be Brendan Donovan. Ask yourself this: did you even know who Brendan Donovan was a year ago at this time? You do now. That's because this 25-year-old was an on-base machine. Nearly 40% of the time, he had command of the strike zone. His OPS was close to 800, and he hit 281. Throw in the fact that Donovan played 6 different positions and was basically a starter down the stretch. Amazing. We spoke on Saturday after the.
I mean, I'm very confident in myself, but if you would have told me a couple months ago that I played every day, I wouldn't have believed you. But that's why we do it. We show up, we work hard, and you just play as hard as you can. And so I'm blessed, and it's been a great year.
It still feels surreal. We'll never see Albert or Yachty take another at-bat in the big leagues. Our Corey Miller takes an inside look at the numbers for this Hall of Fame pair.
Well, we know the big stuff when it comes to Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. 2 World Series titles, 4th place on the all-time home runs list for Pujols, and 3rd most Gold Gloves a catcher for Molina. But with 41 combined years in baseball, there's more than just the big stuff to take a look at. So let's go outside the box a little bit. Take Albert. With his 703 regular season home runs, he's jogged about 48 miles worth of home run trots in his career. Add in his postseason bombs, and he's up to around 49 miles. That's almost 2 full marathons worth of trips around the bases. Albert's also a 3-time MVP. That's good for 2nd most all time. And the crazy thing is, he also finished 2nd 4 times, twice to Barry Bonds. Even crazier, would you believe the only Cardinals all-time record Albert owns is career hit by pitches, where he's tied with Steve Evans at 87. And we knew in his career, Albert knew how to make both an entrance and an exit. His first ever regular season at-bat in St. Louis was a 2-run home run off the Rockies' Denny Nagel on April 9, 2001. His final regular season at-bat in St. Louis, a solo homer off Roansy Contreras 7,847 days after that first one. Now Yachty, he's all about dominant longevity behind the plate. He caught over 18,000 regular season innings. As a safe estimate, that means Yachty caught roughly somewhere around 350,000 pitches in his career. And that's not even counting spring training, the postseason, or warm-ups. Since his first full year in 2005, Yachty's presence alone has deterred teams from even attempting to try and steal a base. The Cardinals have allowed only 887 stolen bases since 2005, the fewest in the league. The next closest team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, in 2nd place by a whopping 423 stolen bases allowed. That's 2 decades of dominance for 2 Cardinals legends and a place in St. Louis history that'll never be forgotten.
Great work, Corey. Now, I want you to take a look at this video behind me. These are the East St. Louis football Flyers running sprints after practice today. Coach Darren Sunkett was making them do this because he didn't like how they performed on special teams on Friday against Alton. Now, take a look at this video. This is East St. Louis beating Alton 80-0 on Friday. The game the coach wasn't pleased with entirely with this coverage on a kickoff. It was also his 200th win as the coach of the Flyers. Coach Sunkett's attention to detail is one of the reasons this man has won 4 state titles.
You know, I mean, you don't want to leave any stone unturned. You know, you want perfect execution on offense, defense, and special teams. And you know, we're very detailed about what we're doing from week to week.
The Blues finalized their opening day roster today. The big news is Jake Neighbors has been assigned to Springfield. Neighbors had a terrific exhibition season, 6 games and 6 points, including 3 goals. He will be back. Congrats to St. Louisan Logan Brown, Jeff's son, who made the roster. And that will do it in sports.
All right, Frank, thanks.
Black Friday in October. The retailers offering big holiday deals this week. The traditional holiday shopping season is really no more. Retailers are already out with Black Friday deals. Walmart's 4-day rollback sale kicked off today. Tomorrow, Amazon will hold its 2nd Prime Day event of the year. A survey finds 78% of consumers plan to buy holiday gifts during the 48-hour sale.
The First Family is getting into the holiday spirit already. Today, staffers selected the official White House Christmas tree at a Pennsylvania farm. cut down next month and delivered to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, where it will stand in the Blue Room.
Every day is Taco Tuesday this week in St. Louis. Taco Week runs from now until Sunday. 35 local restaurants are offering their signature tacos for just $5. We have more information in the As Seen on TV section at ksdk.com.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Rachel Maddow is Jimmy's guest tonight. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.